Well, hello everyone. Producer Pat here, filling in for David today, at least for now. At least for the first part of the show. David is, of course, at home resting. He had appendicitis, had to get surgery yesterday early in the morning. He should be back next week. He's in good spirits. He's feeling okay. But he does feel as though a part of him is missing, which does make sense after getting one's appendix taken out. But we have to get into the news because the news waits for no one. And what I want to talk about today is how Trump held a joint press conference with the Finnish President Sauli Niinistö. They talked about the normal stuff at first, trade, security, economics. They both had their prepared statements. But everyone realizes that it's sort of a charade because when it's time to ask questions, no reporter is actually going to ask about U.S.-Finnish relations. They're going to ask about the topics of the day. They're going to ask about the things that they want to ask about. And right now, the topic on everyone's mind is impeachment and the call that President Trump had with the Ukrainian president back in July. And really, at this point, it's not even a question over whether the president committed a crime. It's more a question about how many crimes did President Trump commit and what were the severity of those crimes, and are we as a people going to hold him accountable either by way of Congress impeaching Trump or by way of the voters voting him out in 2020. So all that stuff is, of course, still left to be decided. But the press conference was a total mess. It was Trump going on and on about how this is just the latest witch hunt and how everyone's out to get him. He talked about shifty Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is, of course, the head of the U.S. Intelligence Committee in the House. And, calling a Jewish person shifty definitely has some anti-Semitic undertones, but that's the sort of thing that we can kind of come to expect from Trump at this point. But what I found most peculiar of all was how Trump would try to be alpha over the Finnish president at times, but then at other times he would hide behind the Finnish president. So what would happen would be Trump would get a question, he would ramble on and on, take control of the floor, not let the Finnish president talk, and then whenever he would get a question from a reporter that he didn't like, he would say, "Why aren't you asking the Finnish president something? We have a guest here. It would be rude not to ask the Finnish president something." So let me show you one example of that, and then we'll come back.
Okay, what's your second question? You shouldn't be asking two questions.
Well, you're going to want to answer.
Do me a favor. Ask one of the.
I will, but
Finnish
I think you'll want.
John,
I think you'll want to answer
John,
this question.
ask
sir.
one of the Finnish president.
And then can I come back to you because I think you'll want to answer.
We'll talk later. Sure. Well, it sounds like it might be a good question. Let me see if I like the question. Go ahead. Maybe for the first time in 3 years, I'll have a good question, and I'll love it.
And then here's Trump doing the exact same thing again, sprinkled in this time with some fake news. This is all a hoax stuff that we've come to expect from Trump.
Go ahead, ask a question.
But the question, sir, was what did you want President Zelensky to do about Vice President Biden and his son Hunter?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
Listen, you ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked you, which
Did
was,
you hear
what
me?
did you want
Did you
him
hear
to
me?
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
No, sir, I don't want to be rude. I just wanted you to have a chance to answer the question that I asked you.
I've answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt. And you have some very fine people, too. Great journalists, great reporters. But to a large extent, it's corrupt and it's fake. Ask the president of Finland a question, please.
Okay, I'll move on now. Mr. President, in your opening remarks, you said to President Trump that you had been to some museums today and that you respected the U.S. democracy and encouraged him to continue it. Are you concerned that that's not happening? And my second question to you, sir, is the WTO ruled today in favor of the United States, saying that the United States can now impose tariffs on European goods because of illegal subsidies against Airbus.
That was a big win for the United States, right?
It was.
You never had wins with other presidents, did you? But we're having a lot of wins at the WTO
this was
since
a
I
case
became
that started, I think, 10 or 15 years ago.
Okay.
But
excuse me. Your wins are now because they think I don't like the WTO and they want to make sure I'm happy. Because all of those countries were ripping off the United States for many years. They know that I'm wise to it. We've had a lot of wins. This was a $7 billion win. Not bad.
But I think the question is for me.
So the question, sir, is if you're concerned that the president...
I absolutely love Niinistö's body language there. Like he's pointing, trying to get a word in. And it's not like he's being a total pushover or anything, but he's being deferential. And I think that makes all the sense in the world. One, because, he's a guest in a foreign country. But I think it more so has to do with the fact that Niinistö realizes that Trump has power over him. The U.S. is, of course, a much bigger country than Finland, and if Trump is upset with their leader, he could retaliate against them. And he's done that before with smaller countries. We saw him temporarily pull aid from Ukraine, so maybe the Finnish president doesn't want a similar thing to happen to him. Of course, the U.S. doesn't give Finland financial aid, but something similar could, of course, happen. So this was the press conference. It's a total Gong show, but hey, that's the America that we live in 2019.
Today's program is sponsored in part by Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you've not already heard about Blinkist, it's amazing. It's an app for your phone, tablet, or web browser. And what they do is they take nonfiction books, popular nonfiction, critically acclaimed nonfiction. They condense the book into a 15-minute audiobook. You get all the most important information and insights from each book, but you can soak up the entire essence of the book in one sitting. I've listened to a ton of books on Blinkist. One recent one is Robert Reich's new book, The Common Good. Also Bunk by Kevin Young, useful in preparing me for the pseudoscience miniseries that we're producing. And if you are a David Pakman Show viewer or listener, you can get a 7-day free trial by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you're watching on YouTube, use the link in the video description. After the free trial, if you like it, you can get the full access to thousands of condensed audiobooks for about $5 a month. That's BLINKIST.com/PAKMAN.